Hey guys, so this week we're going to be taking a look at the Instinct travel backpack, as well as what you could call their whole travel system. And so a while back I actually saw the Indiegogo and Kickstarter videos for the Instinct travel system, and it looked really great. So I was very excited when the company reached out to see if I wanted to test the bag out and possibly feature it on the channel. And so I've been testing this out for a couple of weeks now, and I have to say overall I've been very impressed with how well this bag works as a travel backpack, as well as how cool all the accessories that they put together integrate into the bag itself. And so for someone like me who loves modular packing and being able to kind of put everything that I have into little pouches and keep everything very organized and separated, a system like this is really appealing, and I absolutely love just how thoughtful everything was put together as a whole. So definitely a lot of great stuff to cover in this video. I'm going to take you through all the awesome features of the bag itself and then talk a little bit about the accessories at the end of the video. So I want to go ahead and thank the company for sending the bag and the accessories for me to test out. It's been a really great experience so far. I think this all works really well as a system, and I'm just really excited to share it with you guys. So let's just go ahead and dive in and take a closer look at the Instinct backpack. And so just starting out with the overall aesthetic and appearance of the bag, when I first saw it, it actually reminded me a lot of the Nomadic travel bag. So the duffel style bag that we've looked at in the past on the channel. It has a very similar boxy kind of appearance. This one has a little bit more detail to help give it a more streamlined look. It has these reflective panels on the side that help give it a little bit of color, and it's also really nice that if you're wearing this to ride your bicycle at night or something, that's going to reflect light really well to help keep you a little bit safer. And as opposed to just being like a straight up box like the Nomadic travel bag, I really like the indentation that this bag has to help give it just a little bit more of a sleek look. But even with this indentation, as you can see here, it has kind of a boxier look. And the outside is covered in what feels like a pretty durable 900D polyester material. It feels like it's going to repel water pretty well. I really love that all the zippers have good water resistance. I don't know if these are YKK, but the zippers themselves open and close easily, and they have this really nice water guard on all the zippers of the bag that really make me feel like it's going to help keep the items in the bag protected well against the element. So the boxier look to me works well for the fact that this is a travel backpack. I've found that with the Nomadic travel bag, and similarly with this bag, the boxier look seems to give it a lot of capacity. I was definitely not at a loss for space with this bag, as with the Nomadic travel bag. They seem to hold a lot of stuff really well, and it doesn't get too big. So the bag has a 35-liter capacity, so it's a little bit smaller than the Nomadic travel bag, which is a 40-liter bag. To me, this is kind of the ideal travel backpack size. I love that this holds everything that I need for a 2-week trip, but it definitely will fit into an overhead compartment on pretty much any airline. To me, this feels like it's going to work well on international airlines that have, tighter restrictions. It still looks sleek when you're wearing it. The bag doesn't stick out too much. It doesn't look like the typical big backpacker backpack that you see while you're traveling around. So really well designed shape, and I really like the capacity. As I mentioned, I was able to easily fit the items that I've held in all my other travel bag videos, and I still even have a little bit of space left over. And so even though the look of the bag is not my favorite, it's probably not something I would wear on a daily basis like I would with something like the Tortuga Set Out Divide, which, that bag, on top of the fact that it is kind of a similar capacity to this one, it actually compresses down to a slimmer version. And just the overall kind of minimal look to that bag, to me, feels a little bit better to use for daily use. But as far as capacity and working as a travel backpack, I've been really impressed with just how well this is able to hold everything and how comfortable it is to wear. And I'll talk a little bit more about the straps in a second. And so continuing on with the outside of the bag, it has two really nice handles, one on the side and one on the top. So the one on the side is made out of a really nice seatbelt-like material, very similar to the handles that we've seen on some of the Air bags that we've had on the channel, like the Air Fit Pack. It's just got a really thick, comfortable handle, which works well if you want to hold the bag as a briefcase. And then on the top, it has kind of a thinner handle that has a nice leather covering. So this is also very comfortable to hold. It's a little bit thinner than the side handle. I think the one on the side is just slightly more comfortable just due to how thick it is, but this gives the bag a little bit more of an elegant look, I guess. I really like the little accent here. The leather looks nice, and it still feels comfortable to hold. So moving on to the straps and the back panel, I've been really impressed with how comfortable the bag has been to wear. I really like how padded the straps are. They feel really thick but also soft, so there's no break-in period required. From the moment I put it on, it really felt great to wear. I love, as I mentioned, how thick the padding on the straps is, and it also has this really nice mesh material that's going to help provide some good airflow and prevent moisture from building up. I also really like how wide the straps are to help prevent fatigue or the bag from digging into your shoulders. And on top of that, I'm really digging bags that have this kind of contoured shape on the straps. I feel like it works well with my body type and my shoulders. An interesting feature on this bag is that there are actually two small zippered compartments on the straps. And so if you watch the promotional video for the bags, you can see that this is typically used for something like a Metro card. So if you're walking through on the train station and you need to get your card out really quickly, you can take it out, scan it, and put it in. So it's nice that you have two pockets here for something like that you need to grab quickly. And then on top of that, the bag has an adjustable and removable sternum strap, which is really good for helping to distribute the weight. It also provides a little bit of security to prevent people from easily getting to those zippers, so nice addition there. One thing I noticed is that there's no load lifters on the bag, and so we've seen this trend with a lot of travel bags of a similar size recently, bags like the Air Travel Pack 2 and the Tortuga Set Out Divide. Both kind of similar size bags don't have the load lifters on the straps. And so I've been testing those bags out extensively along with this one. And I didn't really feel the lack of the straps on any of them. So it hasn't been a problem in my opinion. The bag still hugs my back pretty well. Last thing I want to call out here on the straps is that the bag does not have any sort of removable waist strap or anything like that. But what I do like is that the bottom of the straps have these kind of pockets attached that are not padded necessarily, so they don't really work as a waist strap, but they are very comfortable. I really like how this feels on my side. It prevents any sort of digging in, and the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I love how this feels. The straps here have two small pockets as well, one on each side, so this might be another area where you could put something like a business card or maybe a chapstick or something. It's not very big and it's pretty flat, so if you did put something bulkier in here, that would probably start to dig into your side. So I choose to kind of leave these empty, but if there is something small that you want to put here to be able to grab quickly, it's nice that you have that option. So moving on to the back panel, this has been super comfortable to wear on my back. It has this really kind of thick foam on the shoulders and on the lower back, which feels great as I've been wearing it. The foam itself has some nice holes and a meshy material covering to help prevent moisture buildup and just keep air flowing. The padding is also nice and elevated, so there's some really good channels here for air to pass through. So as you're wearing this for a longer period of time, this is really going to help keep the amount of moisture down. And in general, it's just been super comfortable to wear. And so an added bonus here on the back paneling is that there's a hidden pocket here, which has a really nice water-guarded zipper, so a really secure pocket that sits on your back. And so this is a really great feature when travel bags have this, as this is a great spot to put something like your passport or your wallet or something a little bit more delicate. So this is a good size pocket here. And I really love just how well the travel wallet that the company has designed to work with this bag fits in here. It fits in there very comfortably. As you wear the bag with this in that pocket, you don't really feel any bulge. It doesn't feel uncomfortable at all. So just really impressive how the accessories have been designed to work with the bag. So we'll take a closer look at this wallet as well as the rest of the accessories that I mentioned in the intro a little bit later, but I just wanted to show how well the wallet fits inside this back paneling here. And so another thing I want to mention here is that you can actually hide the straps away if you need to check the bag for whatever reason, or if you just want to carry it by its side handle as opposed to wearing it on your back. And so it has this nice cover here that you can roll away and just tie down to the bottom of the bag. It has these nice Velcro loops that keep it out of the way. And then whenever you want to put the straps away, you just release these Velcro loops and then bring that flap up and it zips up, hiding all the straps. So really easy to implement. I really like how well that works. Once the straps have been hidden away, the cover actually has a loop to place this on top of your suitcase. So if you don't want to carry this around by the handle and you just want to save yourself some effort, you can rest this on top of your suitcase if you have one with you and just walk this around the airport or whatever. So I really like how the system works. The only thing I do wish is that this little bulge at the bottom could have been better hidden. So this is something that the Manal carry-on did really well. It has a similar system for hiding the straps, but in that bag, the extra flap here, it rolls up and it tucks away under the shoulder straps. So it's a little bit more hidden, so you don't see this bulge as you're walking around. But that's really just kind of an aesthetic nitpick. It doesn't really harm the bag at all. And I really like how easy it is to hide away the straps if in fact you would prefer to do that. Continuing on with the outside of the bag, it does have a little water bottle pocket on one of the sides. And so I really love when travel backpacks have a water bottle compartment. The one complaint that I have here is that it's a little bit small, so it doesn't fit the water bottle that I typically carry with me. That's a little bit of a tight fit here. The pocket does come out a little bit. It's especially hard to fit something thicker in here when the bag is completely filled out. But even when it's filled out like this, it would still be able to hold just like a regular plastic Zephyr Hills bottle or something, or even something like a small umbrella. So it's still useful and nice to have. On the other side of the bag, there's a few additional zippered areas. So the first one is a zipper that actually provides access to the main compartment of the bag. I really love when bags do this, as it's nice to not have to open the whole thing and just have a way to get to your different things quickly. So this is very common in camera bags, as we've seen with bags like the Boundary Supply Prima system. So really like when bags provide you the ability to get in from the side. Even if you don't use this for photography, it's still very useful. And I really like how well this was implemented. So same nice water guarded zippers that we've seen in the other areas of the bag. And so it has this nice little snapping enclosure here that goes around a loop to help provide a little bit of extra security for this compartment in the bag to prevent people from sneaking in. And so before opening this compartment, I do want to mention that it does have this external USB port, which you can connect to a portable power bank on the inside. And so if you want to charge your phone while you're on the go, you can plug a cable in here and put the phone in your pocket or something like that so that it charges while you're walking around. And so opening up the zipper here, as I mentioned, you can get into the side compartment. And so this pairs well with the camera cube that we'll take a look at in a little while, so you can actually access your camera while you're on the go if you do end up packing it with you. But if not, I really like having the ability to get into this main compartment quickly. If you pack with a little bit of foresight, you can probably put something here that you might want to grab more quickly, something like a jacket or your DOP kit. Currently, you can just see, you can just reach the packing cubes that I have in here. But typically I would want to have my DOP kit or jacket here so that I could grab them and put them away really quickly if I needed to. So really love that side access there. On the flap of the compartment, there's a few different storage and organizational areas. So it has just one kind of long, bigger Velcro slip pocket here, which goes down pretty deep. So this might be a good area to put your phone. And then behind that, there's another zippered compartment, which opens up to reveal just some extra organization that's offered inside this compartment. So in here, there's another kind of Velcro slip pocket. This might be where you can store that portable power bank that would connect to the external port, as I mentioned earlier. And so on the inside of this slip pocket, there's like these elastic bands to help keep whatever you put in here in place. And so I really like the size of this compartment. It's just the right size for those smaller accessories that you don't want floating around and that you want to be able to grab quickly. So currently what I have in here is just my field notes notebook, and that fits in there really comfortably. And then at the bottom, there's just a small zippered compartment, and I really like that it's kind of a mesh compartment so you can see what you put in there. This would be a good spot to put maybe like memory cards or just smaller USB sticks or things like that that you might not want floating around in the bigger areas of the bag. And then in here, you also see the USB cable that's included for the port that you would connect to an external battery to help keep your device charged if you want to use this feature. So really easy to add and remove depending on whether you want to use it or if you want to just remove the cable and save some space and clutter. And then above that, there's two elastic loops here that work well for things like pencils. Currently what I have in here is just my titanium spork, and then just a really simple pen that I carry with me. And then next to that, there's also an area to store your keys. So there's a really nice kind of plastic clip here that's very easy to use. I really like the mechanism that was used here. I love when these kind of clips that are on the bag, if they're not removable, then I definitely like when they're easy to get your keys in and out of. This has a very simple button you press. It opens up the clip nice and wide, so it's very easy to get things in and out. And then on that, I currently have my Gerber shard, which I always have with me. So I really like this organizational compartment in general. Really great area to store those smaller accessories that you don't want floating around. And I also love that it's easy to get to by being on the side access flap. Next up on the bottom of the bag is a shoe compartment. So I really love when bags have this kind of separate area to keep your shoes, as your shoes can typically be a little bit dirtier. So I like to keep them separate. This also works well if you have wet or dirty clothing. This helps keep things separated. So this shoe compartment is a little bit smaller than what we would see on something like the Air Travel Pack 2, where I was usually able to fit at least 2 pairs of shoes. So as you can see here, what I currently have is just my thinner pair of Penguin Chiller shoes, the kind of Converse looking shoes that I typically carry with me. And I could easily fit that or a pair of Toms in here. My shoe size is an 11.5. So if you have smaller shoes, you might be able to fit a bigger type of shoes. What I found for me is I wouldn't really be able to fit any bulkier shoes in here unless you have some smaller running shoes or thinner shoes like these Converses or maybe some loafers or sleeker dress shoes. They might fit well in here, but definitely want to keep it to one pair just with how kind of thin this opening is. But overall, I'm still able to use it for its intended purpose, and I love that that separation is provided. It's also nice that you can pull the liner out, so if you want to clean it or let it air out, if you've put some wet clothing in here, that's a nice addition as well. And so the shoe compartment does take some volume from the inside of the bag, and I'll point that out when we go through the main compartment. But overall, just a really nice addition. And it's great that if you don't want to use it or your shoes don't happen to fit, if you have like a size 13 or 14 foot, then you can just leave this empty and it doesn't really affect how you use the rest of the bag at all. So really nice feature there. At the top of the bag, there is a really great organizational compartment for some of your bigger accessories. As with all the other zippers that we've called out, this one has a really nice water guard. I really love how well protected all the areas of the bag are. And I really love the space of this compartment. This is a great area, as I mentioned, for those bulkier items. If you have some over-ear headphones, this is going to be very easy and quick to get into. And I was impressed with just how much I was able to fit in here. And so as you can see, this compartment can hold quite a bit. I even have some leftover space, and I've put my bulkier items in here, items that I would typically try to put in my quick access compartment, or that might actually be spread out in a couple of different compartments. So this is very much like kind of those bigger compartments that you find on something like the Manal carry-on. And so as you can see here, what I currently have is my Ray-Ban sunglasses with their case. And then I have my lightning cable for my phone. And then I also have my portable Bluetooth speaker and power bank combo. And then I have my GoPro Hero 3 Plus. And so even with all those items in here, I still have leftover space. I like how on the inside of this compartment, there's a little bit of internal organization if you want to use that. I didn't really use it for anything, but it does have these two slip pockets on the inside. They're kind of elastic, and they're made out of a nice mesh that makes it easy to see what's in them. So you can use that to put items that you don't want floating around. So I really love how well this top compartment was implemented, and I think it's really awesome just how much space this offers you and how easy it is to get into. Next up, I want to talk about the laptop compartment. So on the back, if you didn't look closely, you wouldn't even be able to tell there was an extra zipper here. So I really love how well hidden the zipper to the laptop compartment is. So that's a nice security feature. So if you're walking around with this, you can't tell off the bat that there would be a separate laptop compartment. So really nice that it has this kind of flap to help hide the zipper. And on top of that, that does help provide a little bit of extra water resistance, on top of the fact that the zipper also has a nice water guard. So really great implementation there. The compartment itself doesn't lay down completely flat, which might have been a little bit nice to make it easier to get into. But overall, I don't think that's a huge deal, especially as that old school feature of the bags laying down flat and you not having to take your laptop out isn't really a thing anymore, as the airport security has gotten a little bit pickier. But it's still very easy to get into and out of the bag. I love that there's a separate and padded tablet sleeve. And I really like that both the tablet sleeve and the laptop compartment are actually elevated off the ground. So your laptop is very well protected from drops, or if you place your bag down a little bit hard, it definitely feels like it's not going to be touching the ground. The tablet compartment itself has this nice Velcro to help keep your tablet in its place. It holds up to a full-size 10-inch tablet, so like a regular iPad would fit in here comfortably. Currently what I have is my iPad Mini 2, and that fits in there very easily. There's plenty of leftover space. And I really like that the tablet compartment has this soft inner lining to help prevent against scratching, and a good amount of padding as well. As you can see, it's a little bit flexible, but it does a good job of making you feel like your tablet is going to be protected. And so moving on to the laptop compartment, this is a really spacious compartment here. It has that same Velcro to help keep your device secured, and plenty of space. You can definitely fit up to a 15-inch laptop in here. Currently what I have is my 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, so there's plenty of leftover space. The compartment kind of swallows it up. And I really love how wide the compartment comes out, so if you have a thicker laptop, it's going to fit in there comfortably. Plenty of space there. I was sad to see that there is no soft inner lining to the laptop compartment as there was with the tablet sleeves. So kind of a strange omission there since it was already on the tablet sleeve, but it still works well. The compartment, as I mentioned, is elevated and it still feels nicely padded. The padding is similar to the one on the tablet sleeve, so a little bit flexible, but you definitely feel like your laptop is going to be safe. So really great job there on the laptop compartment. And so next up, I want to dive into the main compartment, and I really like how the zipper to the main compartment has been implemented. It reminds me a lot of the Nomadic Travel Pack, so the backpack that we've reviewed a few times on the channel. It has that same kind of full body zipper that allows you to open the bag in a lot of different ways. So it's really cool that if you want to just open the bag as a top loader, you can do that and you have a lot of access and you can see everything at once. But you can just open one of the sides completely so that you can get to something in one area of the bag without having to open the whole thing. And then of course it's nice that you can actually lay the bag down flat so that you can easily pack and so you can see everything that's in your bag at once. So really love the versatility that you have there with the zipper. And as I mentioned earlier, the bag has 35 liters of capacity and it currently has all the same items that you've seen in all my other travel videos. And I really love just the simplicity of the main compartment. There's no internal zippers really or internal organization. The company really did a good job of just leaving that up to either using the accessories that they've designed to go with the bag or to use your own accessories. And so I really love that in this case, I was able to use the same items that I typically use and pack the way that I feel comfortable, and that I could still use this bag just as effectively. So plenty of space here Even with the items that I currently have, I still have a little bit of leftover space. I really love that even my bulkier items fit in here comfortably. And so just diving in, the first item that I have here is my Beats Solo Wireless 2, which I don't always carry with me, but if I have a little bit of leftover space and I'm gonna be traveling for a longer period of time, it's nice to know that I do have the space to carry that. Next up, I have my in-case accessory pouch, which is my go-to DOP kit recently, just because of how small it is. And next up, I have my smaller packing cube, which I use for my t-shirts and underwear and shorts and things like that. After that, I have my Toms, which I wasn't able to fit into the shoe compartment with my other pair of shoes, but they still fit in the bag. So really nice that I can still take those with me. And next up, I have my larger double-sided packing cube, which has my dress shirts and pants and other things like that. And so the last thing I want to call out here is that you can actually see the shoe compartment now from the inside of the bag. You can see about how much space it takes up and the overall size of the shoe compartment from the inside. And so as I mentioned earlier, if you don't want to use that, you can just leave it empty and push it aside, and it doesn't affect your use of the bag. And then other than that, as you can see, very simple on the inside, just a big bucket where you can organize your stuff however you want. And that works really well for the way that I typically like to pack. So very impressive there. And so now that we've gone through the bag with my accessories and the way that I typically pack, we can start talking a little bit about kind of the unique features that come when you buy into the whole Instinct system. And so as you can see on the bag, there's actually a soft felt lining on the back and across the whole strap of the bag. And so this is meant to pair with the Velcro that's on each of the accessories, which we're going to take a look at in a second. And that allows you to actually stick them on to the bag in various configurations and helps keep everything in its place. And so that's a really unique feature. I really like how that's been implemented. And it's nice that if you do choose to use the accessories that they've designed for the bag, that everything is going to kind of stay in its place because of the Velcro. And so diving into the accessories that the company has created, they call these their in cubes, and they have 6 different in cubes that you can actually buy to configure with the bag. And so going through each one, the first one I'm going to call out here is the camera in cube. And so this is just a really nice, simple cube to help keep your camera protected if you're bringing your DSLR with you or something. So it's really nicely padded. It has a really nice handle at the top. It also has these loops on the outside that you can pair with an included strap if you want to just take this out of your bag and use it to walk around the city without carrying the whole backpack with you. That's a really nice addition there. On the inside, it comes with 2 removable dividers that will allow you to kind of configure how you want to hold your stuff in this compartment. So if you have a few lenses with you, or if you're taking a drone and a camera and you want to separate it out, the compartment will allow you to do so. Typically you want to put this near that side opening so that if you leave this unzipped, you can actually access the camera while you're wearing the larger travel backpack. Next up is their toiletry kit. So they've designed a really nice DOP kit here. And just on the outside, it has a nice handle. The size of the DOP kit is really nice. So it's a little bit bigger than the in-case accessory pouch that I've been using. But if you have to carry a little bit more with you typically, or you want a little bit of extra organization, this is going to be an excellent option to look at. So just opening this up really quickly to take a quick look. I really like that it lays flat, and I love that the bag kind of opens up and you can see everything at once. It has a nice hook to hang this up in the bathroom to make it easier to grab everything. It has some nice elastic compartments to keep your bottles in their places. And I really like at the bottom, it has this kind of see-through compartment that allows you to see the bigger items that you have with you, and it also seems to be pretty water resistant so that if there is a spill, it will be contained to this compartment. And then there's also just a smaller accessory compartment on the bottom to hold smaller things like contact cases or combs or things like that. Next up, we have kind of the tech DOP kit. So they have a nice electronic organizer here, and I really like that each of the cubes has a little indicator on the outside to let you know what each one is for, especially between the tech DOP kit and the toiletry kit. It's nice to have that little bit of differentiation as they're kind of similar in size and look. And so this has the Velcro on the outside as well. And this compares pretty well to a lot of the organizers that we've looked at on the past, items such as the Power Packer. And so this is a really great organizer in that it's pretty thick, so if you have some bulkier items, they'll fit in here nicely, and if not, it slims down pretty small as well. And so this almost has a very similar design to the DOP kit. It just doesn't have the hook, but it has a lot of elastic bands here to help keep all your smaller accessories in place. So I have things like a stylus, cable, a USB-C hub, and then that opens up and allows you to see just some more kind of bands and pouches where you can put more cables, charging brick, or a hard drive. I also have my mouse and some of these elastic kind of mesh compartments. So just a really good amount of organization. With both this and the toiletry kit, it seems like a lot of thought was put into making these useful and not just kind of a gimmicky accessory. So really nice job there. Next up, there is a double-sided and compressible smaller cube for things like your shirts, your shorts, your socks, and underwear. So this is where I would put all the items that I currently have in my smaller packing cube, and this actually reminds me a lot of the packing cube that the Nomadic Travel Pack includes with it. I really like when packing cubes are compressible like this to help just kind of slim everything down. On the bottom, there's a separate compartment for dirty or wet clothes. And as with the other cubes that I showed, it has nice indicators on each side to kind of show what should go in each compartment. And so on the bottom for the dirty clothes and wet clothes area, it's nice that the lining on the inside is like a really thick plasticky material that definitely feels like it's going to keep it completely isolated from the other clothes that you may have on the top compartment if you want to separate your things out like that. And then you can expand and compress the packing cube to either be able to pack a little bit more stuff or compress it down and make it a little bit slimmer. So really versatile packing cube there. One thing to note here is this accessory actually doesn't have the Velcro as the other ones do, just because of the double-sided nature of it. The next accessory we're going to look at is kind of the dress shirt and larger shirt and pants packing cube, I would call it. This is kind of like the larger double-sided packing cube that I use. It's not quite as big. It won't be able to hold as much stuff, but I don't think it's meant to. So just opening this up, as you can see on the flap, there's two zippered compartments, which look like they're meant to be for ties. So if you're traveling for business, it's nice to be able to have this to keep your tie in its place and prevent it from getting wrinkled. So nice addition there. And then on the other side, there is a Velcro strap to help keep all your items in place. And then they've also included two hard plastic sheets with instructions on how to fold your dress shirts. And you can also keep these in the dress shirts to help prevent wrinkling. So really nice touch there. And I tried to fit probably more than in what this compartment is meant for. And as you can see here, I was able to fit all the shirts that I typically have in my larger double-sided packing cube, but I didn't actually end up fitting the jeans or the pants just because this is a little bit slimmer, so it didn't end up fitting in there. But again, I don't think that's what this was meant to be for, as this is meant more for kind of a business type traveling where you would have your nicer dress shirts and you probably wouldn't want to overpack it regardless. So just one thing to note about the Velcro, this is something the company calls out when you first get the bag. There's some instructions that, make it very clear that if you're not careful, this Velcro could snag on some of your clothing. So if you're really particular about keeping your clothing safe, they do actually include these cool little like straps that you can cut up and put on the Velcro so that you can use the accessories and not worry about the Velcro getting caught on anything. And then when you're ready to use the Velcro, you can take those off. So just really nice to see that the company tried to think through everything that might be affected by this sort of Velcro system. And then the last accessory here is just this really cool wallet that we saw earlier in the video. This is the one that goes into the compartment that's located on the back paneling. And I really like how versatile this is. So it has this nice zipper closing here to help keep everything inside. And the inside of the wallet has a lot of different compartments to help keep all your money and your papers organized. There's an RFID blocking compartment. This is definitely an area where you're going to be able to fit your passport and any money that you have and other forms of identification. And there's even a little slot to put a pen in if you want to just leave it in here and keep everything all together. So really like the versatility here, really well implemented. So using all these accessories that we just looked at, I was able to pretty much organize all of my stuff back into those accessories, except as I mentioned for the pants and the jeans, those didn't fit into the larger packing cube. And one thing I noticed is that it did take me a little while of kind of playing around with the different accessories to figure out what the best configuration for them would be. So it was almost like a game of Tetris, just trying to figure out where each block should go. And ultimately I was able to fit all of the cubes in and close the bag up. And everything kind of fit in there perfectly once you find the right configuration. Because it does have the camera cube in this configuration, some space is lost that I would probably prefer to use for something like my jeans or extra clothes, as I typically don't take my DSLR with me when I'm one bag traveling. So it is great to see that even when the accessories are all filled up, they all fit in and you're able to organize everything. And the Velcro does work better than I thought it would. I honestly was a little bit skeptical that once the accessories were weighed down that it would actually stick to the Velcro. I thought they would start to fall off. I really like that, for example, I leave the tech dop kit or my regular or the toiletry kit near the top, and that attaches to the flap. So if I open the bag from the top, that comes up with it, and it's really easy to just grab and access it. And it's really nice that you can kind of just play around with the different accessories and configure them however works best for you. So if you don't want to take the camera cube with you, you can leave that out and you have some extra space, and then you can kind of reorganize all the other accessories however will work best for you. So really great versatility. It's really nice that you can kind of just customize how you pack. And I look forward to kind of mixing and matching these accessories with the ones that I currently use to find kind of new and cool ways to travel a little bit more efficiently. And so overall, as I mentioned throughout the video, I've been really impressed with how well the Instinct backpack works as a travel backpack on its own. And I absolutely love the different accessories that have been created to kind of work as a system with this bag. And I think it's definitely a compelling option for anybody looking for a really good travel backpack, as well as an ecosystem of accessories that are going to pair really well with it. And so you can purchase the bag on its own on Instinct's website for about 99 euros, which at the moment is about 115 US dollars. And to me, that's a really reasonable price for how many different features the bag comes with. So even if you don't get any of the accessories, as we showed throughout the video, the bag on its own is a very capable travel backpack. It's really comfortable. I really love a lot of the organization and features that it provides just on its own. And at $115 for a bag of this capacity, I think that's a really great deal. The different accessories can also be purchased separately, and those are about 33 euros, which is approximately 40 US dollars, maybe a little less, give or take, depending on the exchange rate when you're watching this video. And so if you want to get the bag with all the different accessories that we looked at in the video, that's about 175 euros, which translates to about $200, maybe a little bit more, give or take. And so $200 for this bag with all the accessories is a really compelling option, especially if you don't really want to go on the hunt for different types of accessories, or if you don't really have a lot on your own. It's really cool that you can buy everything all together and just have a system that you know is going to work well with accessories that are made specifically for this bag. At $200, you really do end up saving a lot of money if you buy the whole bundle. As I mentioned a second ago, each of these comes out to about $40. So really great stuff. As we saw during the video, the accessories themselves have some pretty thoughtful design. They work well, and they have the benefit of having the Velcro on the back that's going to help you be able to configure how you hold everything in the bag. But as I mentioned, if you're just looking at the bag at $115, that's also a really great deal. This bag reminded me a lot of the Nomadic travel bag, as I showed during the video. Just kind of the look and feel of the bag had some similarities. And the Nomadic travel bag cost about $220. You can sometimes get it for less if you use a coupon code, so it comes out to a little under $200. And that includes waist straps and a collapsible laundry basket. So it's a little bit more expensive, and it doesn't come with quite as many accessories if you were to pay the same price. However, that bag is a little bit bigger, and it's more of a duffel style as opposed to a backpack. So depending on what your needs are, that may be a good option to take a look at as well. Other bags in kind of this $115, $120 price range that might be good to look at when comparing to the Instinct backpack would be something like the Arcedo Faro or Acro backpack. We've actually looked at the Faro backpack in a prior video, and that was also a really compelling bag in kind of a similar price range. At 35 liters, this bag is also in a similar size scale as bags like the Air Travel Pack, the Tortuga Outbreaker 35 liter, and the Manal Carry-On backpack. And I think this bag compares really well to those bags, especially the fact that it's a lot more affordable. So this is almost half the price of the Outbreaker and the Air Travel Pack, and even less than half of the Manal Carry-On 2.0, and it has about the same capacity, lots of great organization as we saw during the video. So the build quality on bags like the Air, Tortuga, and Manal bags may be slightly higher, but I've been really impressed overall with how well this bag feels like it's going to hold up over the long term. It still feels like a sturdy bag that's going to be able to handle a good amount of weight well. Another bag worth mentioning that seems to be popular these days is the Peak Design Travel System, which is on Kickstarter and will be coming out soon. Been seeing a lot of really great reviews for that. This is definitely a great alternative to a bag like the Peak Design System, which is going to be a really well-designed bag with some awesome materials. It seems like they're also going to have some really great accessories, and they're creating their own kind of travel system. However, the price on that bag and those accessories is going to be really high and probably too expensive for a lot of people. So if you're looking for a similar kind of system at a much lower price point, the Instinct backpack and accessories will be a great option to help save some money and still be able to travel really well. So just to wrap up, I've definitely enjoyed using the Instinct backpack and the accessories. I really love the fact that on its own, the bag stands up very well. As we saw during the video, it was absolutely great at holding all the typical items that I use in my travel bags, which was a big bonus. And then on top of the fact, having all these accessories that allow you to kind of customize how you want to organize everything is just a really nice bonus. So there's a really well thought out travel system, and I'm definitely looking forward to testing this out on future trips and seeing how it continues to hold up against all the other travel bags we've looked at on the channel. So I want to go ahead and thank the company again for sending the bag and accessories for me to test out. And if you guys found this video useful, please go ahead and give us a like below. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. And thank you guys so much.